Hello, how's it going? Happy Friday to you all. We made it. We made it again. Another week conquered. And we've been doing very well. If you watched the video last night, we killed it again. We killed it again. There were a couple of sneaky bombs that were in the video. Well, here's a little recap so you can see how we did yesterday. Keep this audio going. So we did hit quite a few of our props yesterday. We missed 2. I think we hit 8. We hit 8 out of 2, 8 and 2 yesterday. We went 8 for 2 yesterday, which is great after our 7 and 1 yesterday. That puts us at 15 and 3 on the past 2 days. I mean, that is a great ratio, guys. I'm out here trying for y'all, you know? New YouTube channel. I'm trying to let y'all know that I respect coin. And, you know, I'm not asking for anything in return here. I just want to be bringing value to you guys, so you want to subscribe and hopefully come back for your Prizepicks information in the future. Down the road, I'll probably start up a Patreon and maybe, you know, get a little bit more detailed over there. But for now, we're just rolling, baby. This is free info. If you stopped in to say hello on this beautiful Friday, thank you. I actually very much so appreciate it. If you've been rocking with the videos, I hope that you played some of my plays because they've been hitting, man. Here was my slips from yesterday. I had a little thunder stack, it hit. I got burned on fucking Derek White, man. 0.5'd me. I was so bummed on that 0.5. He turned the ball over 3 times, so that really hurt that fantasy score prop. We got 0.5'd, and but it really didn't matter that much because Curry ended up not hitting. He had 15 rebounds and assists in his last 2 games against the Clippers, and he only got 8 last night. He also blew it on the fantasy score. I know a lot of people were bummed on that too, but I didn't post that prop because I didn't. That one came out a little later in the day. But still, profitable day. You know, I think I put $90 up or $95 and made $375 back. I also tried the new Demons and Goblins for NFL just for fun, and that hit as well. So it was a 2-man that I 7x'd on, which I was very happy about. I mean, not very often you can 7x on a 2-man pick on Prizepicks. And so that was cool. That was a cool hit. Overall, profitable night. And I hope that we keep the streak going tonight, y'all. There's a lot of good games on the slate, and I think we can take advantage of some of these spots. Maybe get some money going into our weekend. What do y'all think? What do you think? All right, follow me. Come on, guys, follow me. Unavoidable square that we need to talk about, and that's Joel Embiid again. Joel Embiid playing the Pistons again, just like he did a couple days ago, where he blew the water off of every prop you could have imagined, except for assists, I think. But fantasy score, first half points, first half PRA, first half fantasy score. I think I'm just gonna lock in the first half fantasy score again because he crushed it. And I just don't see him not doing it again. You know, if you want to take the full game fantasy score, I think that's totally fine as well. But I mean, they're just putting it on him in the first half. So I think that's the move I'm going with today. First half fantasy score for Embiid seems fair. An iffy prop, Tyrese Maxey over his 24.5 points. I'm not putting that one on the screen because I don't think I'm playing it. He's just you never really know what you're getting with this guy. But he should, against the Pistons, be able to clear that line. If you need a pick for your Flex Friday slips, I don't see that being a bad play. I don't see that being a bad play today. Another one is Melton. DeAnthony Melton barely scraped by last week to get us what we needed. Do you run him again? He's all green. Past 7 games or something, he's gone over his fantasy line, but he went over by 1 point last time, I think. So it's definitely a sweat, but DeAnthony Melton might make it onto my ticket today. I throw him on the screen. just for fun. I mean, he's been, you know, doing his thing. He's that role player, and he's been getting his minutes and getting his production. So it's hard to go against him, man. It's hard to go against him. But yeah, I mean, Sixers versus Pistons, the whole team should do well. But I'm definitely focusing on Embiid. If you want to play a couple different Embiid props, I don't think that's a terrible idea. Mix and match him up. Another early game today is going to be the Pacers versus Washington Wizards, and the implied total of that game is outrageous. It's 259 is the implied total of that game. So you gotta see some overs in the future. It's just kind of who's going to be getting them. You can't trust anybody on Washington. You cannot trust fucking anybody. I've been screwed over individually by every Washington player this season. I'm sure a lot of you have as well. Fuck Jordan Poole. I think we all can agree on that. Kyle Kuzma, probably the most consistent one, but I don't think any Kuzma slips are touching my screen today. Although it wouldn't be a terrible day to play him. Miles Turner, I kind of like that. I kind of like a Miles Turner over today. But once again, I just don't know if I'm going there. If there's one prop that I probably would say you feel the best taking, it's going to be Halliburton over assists. Let's see. I'm going to check the line on that one real quick. I know that it's juiced on the over pretty heavily. Minus 195 to go over 12.5 assists. He's off. You know, it's bumped to 13 on Prizepicks. But 195? That is fucking juicy. DraftKings thinks for sure Halliburton is going to be dishing them out, and people are with an over-under of 259. I mean, he's got to be. People are making baskets. They're probably going to be picking up some assists from Halliburton, you know. So that's a tough one, you know. That's a tough one, a tough game just because the Wizards are so ugly. But Halliburton over assists, that's going to be one that I'm definitely going to be playing today. We're starting to get some Pelicans, Charlotte props on the board, some fantasy score props. And, you know, DraftKings is not loving any of the overs for the Pelicans, which I thought was kind of surprising. I went and looked up Joval's history versus Charlotte, and he crushes Charlotte. He crushes them. Let's see here. Joval's last 3 stat lines versus Charlotte. 20 points, 19 rebounds, 3 assists. 30 points, 17 rebounds, 4 assists. 24 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists. This man crushes Charlotte. I mean, even if you're looking specifically at those rebounds, 19, 17, 18, I think some Joval overs, they've got to be on the menu today. Like, I hate betting on Joval. He does not respect coin. He loves to fuck my slips over. But how are you gonna ignore that? He's gone over 17 rebounds in his last 3 games. Let's see what the Joval props are right now. 11.5 rebounds? I think that's a lock, baby. I think we gotta lock that in today. If you wanted, you could go over the 36.5 fantasy score. I don't think that's terrible too, because he drops points on them. As you can see, 24, 30, and 20. Let me see what the rebounds on the sports books are looking like. It's only a minus 120, so I just don't get that. I don't understand that from the sports books today, and I think I'm going against the sports books on this one. This is my famous last words a lot of times when I go against the sports books. But Joval over 11.5 rebounds, I just don't see a world where he doesn't get that today. I like that prop. CJ McCollum fantasy score, he screwed us by like 1 point a couple days ago. They lowered it back down to 34. You could play that too. I think that's fair, but it's a little too tight for me. I don't think I'm throwing CJ on any slips today. Gordon Hayward in that same game, I kind of do like the over 31.5 fantasy score. He's been 4 out of 5 over in his last 5. Should be a fast-paced game against the Pelicans. I don't hate that. I'll probably go in with Gordon Hayward again today. He's just been super productive recently, you know, and I like the guy. and let's see if he respects coin. We'll throw him on the slip today. You know, I don't think that's crazy. Lakers Spurs. We just had this matchup again a couple days ago. The books are loving Wemby, man. The books are loving Wemby. They love the over PRA for him. He's got the most juice odds on the over for him to go over on PRA. There's no fantasy score yet, so I haven't been able to see that. You know he loves blocking. But once again, over 11.5 rebounds. We played this prop 2 days ago, and it hit for us. And it's at minus 160 again today. He only got 13 rebounds the other day, so it was a little bit close. But, I mean, you got to take that, I think. I think you just got to take it again, you know? It's kind of like Joe Val. He has so many opportunities. He's so fucking tall. How are you going to stop this man from rebounding the ball? You're just not going to. And, you know, I keep riding the Wemby train. He's starting to heat up a little bit, you know. He's starting to heat up a little bit this season, putting up some pretty juicy stat lines. And I think over 11.5 rebounds, you got to do it. If you want to get a little bit more blanket with it, you can go over PRA or whatever his fantasy score ends up being. I think that would probably be a pretty good play too. I might end up playing that fantasy score square, but it's just not up yet, so I don't know exactly what that line's going to be. We're getting 0 props for the Magic Celtics game. I don't know if I would want to be touching that game anyway, especially after Derek White just left that fucking terrible taste in my mouth last night. But you know, the Derek White over fantasy score, it's been a wagon lately. Now it's, you know, it doesn't feel good after last night, but you know, if you need a spot, I don't think that's terrible. Tatum should get his, always does. As we saw, he was a fucking ball hog at the end of the game last night, but I don't blame him because nobody's stopping him on the way to the rim. He's just gonna run in and lay it up every time. No reason for an assist, no reason for any rebounds, easy layups left and right. Why? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing out there? It's Jason fucking Tatum. Put a defender on him. My God, man. Sometimes it's just unreal. Sometimes it's just unreal, you know, the way these players give up towards the end of games. Where's the fight? Where's the fighting spirit, people? Come on. It shouldn't be this difficult. But let's talk Hawks Raptors. They have a very high implied total for this game. If you look at Hawks Raptors, the last game, every single player went over. Every player. Let me just do a recap real quick. If we look at the fantasy scores for this game, which they just played, the last game that the Hawks and the Raptors played was against each other. They're playing again today. And let's just go through this lineup. Clint Capella, he went over his fantasy score. Jacob Poeltl, he went over his fantasy score. DeJounte Murray went over his fantasy score. OG Anunoby, over his fantasy score. Saddiq Bey, over his fantasy score. Pascal Siakam, over his fantasy score. Trae Young, over his fantasy score. Is that surprising at this point? Scotty Barnes, over his fantasy score. Every single player that is out right now went over their fantasy score in this last game. So I do have interest in the game. I just don't know really where to go. I think, you know, obviously you feel good going over on Trae because he cleared it easy on the last game. His line's at 48.5 and he got a 63 in his last game. I think that's probably the one you feel the safest going after. Maybe Pascal Siakam. He also had a really good game. His PRA or his fantasy score over, I think, is pretty fair. Saddiq Bey, he's kind of taking that Derek White, Kobe White role, the middleman, but he is over that fantasy score line in all 5 of the last 5. 26.5. I mean, it's a gamble, but it's a gamble I might be willing to take. So you're gonna have to use your own discretion on this one. I can't necessarily tell you if they're all gonna go over again, but it looks good. It looks like a good game to target. You could do a little game stack there, and if it goes over again, you know, everyone went over. Literally everyone. So you shouldn't feel bad about that. even if they don't, you know. I mean, what do? You got to go with the data here. We have got nothing yet from the Rockets or the Memphis Grizzlies. That is kind of an interesting game. I don't know why there's not even sportsbooks odds out on that one yet. Maybe somebody's sitting and they're really not sure what's going on yet. I don't know. I'm ignoring that one for now. Also, the Knicks and the Suns. They really like the Randall overs, and I kind of agree on that one. I think a Randall over fantasy could be juicy. Do they have Randall over fantasy? No, there's no Randall over fantasy yet. I think Randall over fantasy could be good. Randall over rebounds came through for us the other day. Also, Kevin Durant over assists, over 4.5 assists. That one's juiced on the sports books, and I think that's a fair spot. 4.5 assists for KD is pretty low. Now, you know, especially now they've got their whole big three, if I'm not mistaken. Booker, Beal, and KD are all playing tonight. So you got Beal and Booker out there. You'd think KD's going to be passing it off and they're going to be getting some buckets. I like that over 4.5 assists. That does feel like a pretty good spot. But besides that, I mean, I try to make it a little bit of a quicker video today. We're a little earlier in the day, so props keep coming. If you like anything, comment below, and I'll try to touch on it. Let's get some money again today, guys. I had to wear the Raiders hat again today because what the fuck was that? 63 points? What was that? If anybody is a Raiders fan, I mean, you feel my pain. It felt like a sweaty fever dream. How are we scoring this many points? We couldn't even put 3 points up against the Kirk Cousinless Minnesota Vikings last week. What is this? What is happening? I don't know. Maybe it's time to have a difficult conversation about Josh Jacobs. I don't know. But this is an NBA video, so I will go ahead in the video here. If you guys like the video, please subscribe, please like, and comment below if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I hope everyone has a good Friday. I hope everybody has a good weekend, start to your weekend. I'll try to make a video tomorrow. I haven't even looked to see what the slate looks like tomorrow, but hope everybody has a good day, a good night, and happy Flex Friday, you know? Hopefully we can get some W's today. We've been on a roll, we've been on a heater, so let's keep it going, baby. Let's keep it going. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching the video. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.